Early on in my investing career, I really enjoyed watching this guy called ticker symbol U on YouTube. The channel is run by a guy named Alex. The whole idea of his channel is talking about the science behind the stocks, rather than things like fundamentals and financials. So when I found out that he may be a paid stock pumper, that really made my ears perk up. This is a YouTuber who has 400,000 subscribers and who many new investors probably rely on for investment advice, whether or not they're supposed to. So today I want to talk about ticker symbol U and other paid stock promoters, how to spot a paid stock promoter, and what I actually think of these types of videos. So first things first, let's talk about the paid stock promotion, because many of you may not know this. On ticker symbol U's most recent video, I'm buying these 3 stocks to get rich without getting lucky, which apparently is one of his catchphrases. This video was posted 3 days ago, and the top comments are, well, the top 3 comments are pretty obviously spam. Then after that, the real comments, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all talk about him being paid to promote stocks. TBH, you lose your credit since promoting sponsored stocks for money, 158 likes. Sponsored or not, 83 likes. You should at least tell your viewers that this is a paid ad. I really liked your videos until Poet. That was interesting because I was also subscribed to this other YouTuber called Fin Tek. He does kind of the same thing where he talks about the science behind the stocks, and he's a software engineer, so I thought that that gave him kind of a unique perspective on software stocks. However, his latest video, Get In Early, top 4 AI stocks that are better than Nvidia, posted 2 days ago, was met with the same criticism. Top comment, besides his own pinned comment, says, so both you and ticker symbol U pump Vertiv on the same day. Guess we know the sponsored stock of the week. Reminder to viewers that this is a paid advertisement. And Fin Tek actually did respond to this. He says that the video is sponsored, but it was sponsored by something else, not Vertiv. However, someone in the comments says that Fin Tek has a contract with LFG Equities to pump certain stocks like Poet. So that's very interesting to me. I looked up LFG Equities, and apparently it is a firm that pairs startups with influencers. So the influencers talk about these companies, the startups pay the influencers to do so. Obviously, they have to give some kind of disclaimer, but still, these people on YouTube are being paid to talk about a stock by the company whose stock it is. That's a conflict of interest if you ask me. I found this other great video by a YouTuber called Chris Norland, who I just discovered today. So credit to Chris Norland for doing the heavy lifting here. I definitely don't want to use all of his hard work and claim it as my own. However, he actually did dig up the contracts with Fin Tek and ticker symbol U. So Fin Tek is a paid advertiser through LFG Equities, and if we fast forward his wonderful video a little bit more, we see that ticker symbol media is also a paid advertiser through LFG Equities. He even finds where Poet Technologies paid them both to talk about their stock. Yikes. So when we Google Poet, we can see that it's quite a small company at just a $300 million market cap. However, it has skyrocketed in the past month. So people might be thinking, well, what's the problem? If they're pumping companies like Poet Technology and then they go up 50% in a month, isn't that a good thing? Well, sure, maybe. However, you have to understand with companies this small, they can go up 50% a month, but they could have just as easily gone down 50% in that month, right? So investing is all about managing risks. And I'll give them both credit because in their Poet Technologies videos, they both said that they were going to make it a small position and they talked about some of the risks of the company. However, neither of them mentioned that they were being paid to promote this company. So that leaves a bad taste in my mouth for both of these YouTubers, and I am no longer subscribed to either of these people. In fact, ticker symbol U I was already getting bored of before this. What I'm going to do next is watch a ticker symbol U video and talk about the things that I like and dislike about his video and talk about what may be some of the red flags of a YouTuber who doesn't really know what they're talking about. Because I do believe YouTubers like ticker symbol U and Fin Tek don't truly have an investing background and don't really know what they're talking about for the most part, right? They're still smart individuals, but I don't think that they have a strong grasp on how to analyze a stock objectively, and I think that that is quite misleading to some of their audiences. If you disagree, feel free to let me know in the comments because I am just one person, and I myself may not be the most qualified person to be talking about stocks on the internet. It's a scary place, right? The internet, anybody can get on here and talk about stocks. So this is just my hopefully unbiased, I mean, I know I am a YouTuber myself, but hopefully this is an unbiased view of ticker symbol U and what to watch out for stock pumper YouTubers and how to know if a YouTuber is going to be someone who is truly doing the research or somebody who is just here for your entertainment. Okay, so let's start. I'm going to play the ticker symbol U video and kind of react to it a little bit as we go along. I won't play the full video, but I'll give you a little bit to watch.
Artificial intelligence has a huge problem. A single ChatGPT query can take up to 10 times the electricity of a Google search. And while power demand from data centers has already doubled over the last 5 years, Goldman Sachs predicts that it'll grow by another 160% by 2030.
Okay, so right off the bat, some things that I noticed is that his production is really great, right? I mean, obviously he has 400,000 subscribers. He's going to make videos that look and sound really, really good. So audio, very clear, video, very engaging. He has this B-roll that's relevant. He kind of piques your interest by saying that there's going to be an energy demand because of ChatGPT, which kind of paves the way into Vertiv, which is a stock that people think he may be pumping. Who knows if he is or is not. But we also noticed that in the background of this video, we have this dramatic music that really lures you in. I think some of the best stock-related YouTubers out there will focus more on the content as opposed to the production. And typically when you watch a YouTube video, you're watching it for entertainment, right? So you want good production. But when you're using YouTube to learn about stocks, good production shouldn't matter. You should have quality content, right? So let's see if he, gives us anything quality. To be totally honest, I have not seen this video yet. So this is a real reaction.
So in this episode, I'll highlight a few companies that are tackling this exact problem, positioning them to win big no matter which AI companies come out on top, making them a great way to get rich without getting lucky.
There's his tagline, get rich without getting lucky. Okay, so if you wanted to get rich without getting lucky, right, you'd invest in index funds, you dollar cost average. He's talking about investing in tech stocks. So yeah, you have to get a little lucky with tech stocks. I think that I get where he's coming from, but I think that is quite a misleading tagline. Okay, let's get into it.
Your time is valuable, so let's get right into it. First things first, I'm not here to waste your time. So here's exactly what I'm going to cover.
Okay, so I do really like this about him. He gives you the schedule of the video right off the bat, and he says your time is valuable. I'm not here to waste your time. That's great. I think that sort of plays to the lower attention span that people have these days. So you click on a video that says, 5 stocks to buy now, which I'm guilty of that. I've done stuff like that. But then all you want to know is what those 5 stocks are, and maybe you click away and do your own research. That's totally fine. And so I like that he does this. But I think that a lot of newer investors who maybe don't know how to do the research themselves will look at this, say, okay, Vertiv, Broadcom, Marvell, I'm going to go out and, buy these stocks. Which, okay, that's not Alex or ticker symbol U's fault. That's not his fault that people are not doing the research, but I think that this kind of encourages people to look at the stocks that he's talking about, go out and buy them, right? And really quick, if he is being paid to pump Vertiv, it would make sense that he would talk about that stock first, and he is. He's definitely not being paid to pump Broadcom. They're almost $1 trillion company, and I don't think he's being paid to pump Marvell. Those are bigger companies. But Vertiv stock is a stock that had previously had problems with their PR, with their public relations, and with their investor relations, so it would make sense that they would pay influencers to pump their stock. So the fact that he and Fin Tek, who both are part of the same media group, are both talking about Vertiv, which, is a stock that probably would be pumped, it's not a good look for him. Okay, so let's see when he talks about Vertiv, if he actually talks about any of the financials or fundamentals. Okay, so he's been talking about Vertiv for about an entire minute, and he hasn't talked anything about the business, just about the technology of what they do. That's fine, right? That's his whole shtick behind his channel. I also like to talk about what the company does before I talk about their financials, because that's a really important thing when you're investing. You need to know what a company does before you can invest in it. If you don't understand what the company does, why are you investing in this company, right? It's going to be really hard to follow along with it. I like that, but we're just hearing about why Vertiv is so great and why AI is growing. I think most of us kind of get that. I want to know, what sets Vertiv apart from their competition. What do Vertiv's financials look like? So let's keep watching.
So I spent a lot of time digging into this, and the Fundrise Innovation Fund is a great way to invest in some of the best tech companies before they go public. Venture capital.
Okay, sponsored ad segment. That's fine. He's got to make money, right? Let's skip ahead.
Direct-to-chip liquid cooling is up to 3,000 times more effective than air cooling. And better cooling means that servers can be stacked closer together without overheating.
Okay, so that's interesting. So this is a bit of information that does kind of point to Vertiv having a competitive advantage. So I like that he did mention that. But a lot of the stuff before this was sort of deep technological information that I think the average investor probably doesn't need. Let's keep going.
Vertiv had a $7 billion backlog of orders at the end of Q2, which was up 11% quarter over quarter and 47% year over year. Vertiv stock is already up around 120% year to date, and I definitely think they have plenty of room room to run as the AI boom continues. Compute and
Okay, this is what I don't like. I actually do have a problem with that. I think they have plenty of room to run as the AI boom continues. What is that based on? So that is the end. So he marks his chapters, and it's cut off on the screen right now, but that's the end of the Vertiv chapter. So he did not talk about Vertiv's financials whatsoever. He didn't talk about why he thinks the stock has more room to run besides that their market is supposed to grow, right? So he showed this research from, one of those generic research firms, and I'm guilty of using these too because sometimes that's the only research you can find. But these research firms, you have to take this with a grain of salt. So he said that it's supposed to grow at a compound annual growth rate of 28%. So then he says, okay, the stock is up 120% year to date, but I think it has more room to run. Okay, so he went out and found research that says compound annual growth rate of 28%. And so he thinks that the stock is going to continue to grow because of their market growing, right? Okay, everybody else who follows Vertiv has the same information, right? Everybody knows that the market is going to grow at a compound annual growth rate of 28%. That's why they're buying the stock. This is what we call being priced in to the stock, right? So this is very public information, very commonly, readily accessible. We all know that Vertiv is in a market that's expected to grow because of AI. That's why the stock is up so much. He can't just say, oh, the market's expected to grow for Vertiv, so I think that the stock still has more room to run. And he didn't once talk about the company's valuation. So if he said, okay, so the company is valued at this time's, future earnings, and I think that's lower than their peers, so that's why I think the stock has more room to run. Even if he said something very basic like that, at least he would be talking a bit about the fundamentals of the company. However, he just says, oh yeah, the market's supposed to grow, so this company is probably going to continue to run, I think. I don't like that. I really don't like that he did that. Again, I'm not saying that I'm better. I understand that I also am a stock YouTuber, and so I'm not trying to pat myself on the back here. I think there's so much more that I could be doing with my channel, but I'm just saying if you do follow these types of channels, these ticker symbol U's, these Fin Teks, I up until quite recently did follow Fin Tek, and I didn't know that they were being paid to pump stocks, and I didn't really know that maybe they don't really have a solid grasp of the financials. Even Fin Tek doesn't really talk about the fundamentals of the company. He sometimes talks about how quickly they're growing and their market cap and things like that. But this is very, very basic surface level information. He doesn't actually talk about the underlying fundamentals and financials of the company. So I guess to conclude, if you didn't already know it, there are YouTubers out there who are paid to promote small stocks. Whenever you see a YouTuber talking about a stock, myself included, make sure that you do your own research on the stock before you make any kind of investment decisions. And if you have a financial advisor, definitely go to your financial advisor and get their input as well. These people are going to be fiduciaries, and they're going to have your best interests in mind before making any kind of recommendations. YouTubers, unfortunately, do not. As we found, they are paid to promote very risky stocks, which, yes, Poet paid off. That's fine. However, it could have easily not paid off. Finally, if a YouTube channel that's talking about stocks is more focused on entertainment than they are about actual information, I think that that's a red flag. And both of these channels, they do seem like they know a whole lot about the technology behind these companies. However, they don't seem like they know very much about actual investing, right? So anyway, that's all I have to say for today. Coming up, I have some viewer suggestions. On my list of things to talk about are a guide on how to analyze a stock, a review of some luxury conglomerates, including LVMH, which owns Louis Vuitton, how to invest ethically, and whether there's any benefit from investing in ethical companies, or if there's even such thing as an ethical company. And I also have one on the pharmaceutical industry and some stocks that may be involved in the pharmaceutical industry without actually making drugs. So if you're interested in any of that, please hit the subscribe button. And if you liked the video, please like it. If you disliked it, please dislike it and let me know why you disliked it and what I can do to improve. I am always trying to get better at putting together my videos. I know this video was a bit different, but thank you so much for sticking around, and I hope you all have an amazing day.